morning again. Hopefully you were with us 9 a.m. for Days for Dummies, but if you weren't, that's okay. Come to class next week.
You can always late register.
You can.
With the 10th floor.
But we are always taking new students. There is no week that is too late to join Salem University and talk about Days of Our Lives.
That's right.
That's right. We already did that today, and there is so much to go over on General Hospital this week.
What a week, you guys.
Holy smokes, folks. Oh my God. This was the sudsiest, soapiest week I have seen in years. In years. My page just flashed as if we just started broadcast. So folks in the chat, let me know what was the first thing you heard.
Yeah.
Let me know.
We could start over.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt.
Hi everybody, it's Kat.
And hopefully you're here again, if you came to class earlier to talk about Days of Our Lives. No, seriously, this is gravesite stuff with the funeral of Ireene or Adela. Pick your battle.
It's so funny because I had decided in my mind their name was going to be Ireene Adela. I thought the middle name would be Adela.
Oh yeah, how were in another timeline in which they successfully had a friendly experience with this, they would come together.
Maybe that would have happened, huh?
Yeah. But it's not just us, everybody. The elevator doors are open. Get out of that waiting room. Leave the fake food behind. We got to ascend all the way up to the 10th floor. Mm-hmm. But it's not just us, Ma. As always, it's not just us. We have moderator Chandra. Hi,
Chandra. Hey, Chandra.
We've got Cindis. Hello, Cindis. Cindis again, the second name I read almost every single week. Carolyn is here. Kelly, you're back. Hi, Kelly. Pretty soon, she says she'll be back full time once her work obligations relax.
Good.
Yes. Rochelle is here with us again. Hello, Rochelle. Who else has participated in the chat? Liz. Hello, Liz. Kaiwan. Hello. Jarly is here. Oh my God, this elevator is heavy. Lola's mom. Holy smokes.
Smush to the back. Make more room.
Gosh, yeah. Just, everybody hold your breath. Hopefully you're wearing a mask. This is a dangerous group to be in. Kidding. You guys are all great and smart and safe. Chandra bought veggies and sorbet today. She got very fancy.
Ooh, and healthy too.
Oh gosh, get your frozen fruit. Your frozen crushed fruit. Anyway, hi everybody. Going up to the 10th floor. You get out of the 10th floor. Elevator. You walk across the hospital and you know what? It's calm down there again.
Yeah, it's a little bit calm, but they have, they had to take Lulu over to GH.
Well, I mean, that means everything's going to pick up again.
Under the great care of her sister-in-law, huh? Once was her sister-in-law. Right?
Well,
Elizabeth.
Yeah. She's going to wake up and be like, I know where Lucky is. He's being held by what's her name? Hoping Matt doesn't let one out. Well, I'm going the elevator. Oh, Kelly. Well, if I do, it's me.
We're going to blame it on you.
Keisha's here too. Hi, Keisha. Hello.
Keisha.
Little Miss Honey Dip here. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. All right, folks. Wild. Okay. So yeah, we're clearing the bed. We got Christina out of there. We need room. Lulu's on her way. She's going to get tucked in real tight to wake up and come back to the cast with a brand new face. Hi, Sandra.
We'll see.
Hey, Sandra. Oh my gosh. So yeah, anyway, just so much intensity this week. I don't even know where to start.
It was a very emotional week, wasn't it?
It was emotional from sadness and intensity, and also emotional from excitement. Because we got lucky, locked in a cave. Well, hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. We get locked away in a cave.
I know. And maybe think about a couple of things. Okay. Remember last week I said, well, shoot, we could see Lulu in that bed without a face and see her hand or her foot like for 3 weeks or something. And what did we see on Friday? Her hand.
Well, won't be long before we see that foot. I wonder if it's the hand of somebody that they hired just to be the hand, or if it's the hand of the person that they cast to be Lulu.
I don't know, but they kind of showed up. They showed a little bit of her hair too. They never showed
Mhm.
any of her face, but you could
Mhm.
see some blonde hair.
What do you think of it?
Yeah.
Do
So we saw.
does the blonde seem Lulu-ish to you?
Yes,
Oh, that's good. That's
and
good.
it's got a little bit of length to it too.
Okay. Well, I mean, she's been in that bed for like 3 years, according to the show.
And evidently, we didn't know. We haven't seen, but Maxie been painting her nails weekly.
So that's wonderful. I love those little details that come up and
Me
crop up
too.
when you're trying kind of reawakening a story and kind of
Mm-hmm.
reintroducing a character. We saw the same thing with Sean when they let him out of jail.
Uh-huh.
Where, as it turns out, TJ had visited him every week, and they have a great relation. Oh my god!
Exactly.
Ooh, Kelly with a massive donation. Thank you so much, Kelly. Kelly, that might be it. That might be what we were looking for to send us over the threshold for payout.
Yeah, because you have to have a certain amount of money
Yes.
before you can take it out.
Yeah, so we have to collect enough donations for YouTube to decide that we're worth it and funds it. So I think that might have been it, Kelly. I think you pushed us over that limit. But hey, folks, I think that we need to make sure that I'm not lying. Maybe some more donations need to come in to make sure that we do crush this threshold. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. But as we saw before, when it comes to the donations that you make to the show, how does it sound here? It's so weird.
It doesn't sound good when it's like that.
No, it doesn't, because I have it angled. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I can change it though. So anyway, that's not important. What is important is that your donations to the show upgraded the sound, and your donations to the show next will upgrade the video on my half, so we can get some HD going, and everything won't be as washed out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can play more with the setup and all that, and look far more professional than I ever have. And it's because of people like you. So thanks, Kelly, and everybody else that's made donations over the last couple of months.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh goodness! So I
Anyway,
appreciate it.
so what I was saying.
But just finally, before you finish that, just so fast. You don't have to donate. Thank you if you do. Yeah, thank you.
There you go. So remember I was saying that they could like have Lulu in the bed, but we don't see her face for a while.
Yes.
Even though she's there. Lulu's back, but we don't see her face.
Mhm.
It could happen for a while.
Mhm.
Well, then this didn't happen. We did see his face at the end, but we saw those beat up damn boots.
Yes.
I thought, oh my gosh, are we going to have to look at Lucky's beat up boots like we had to look at his mom's shoes? Like, remember when they showed Laura's pumps for 3 weeks, like a decade or two ago, maybe even more ago? We
Just
watched Laura's
walking through
pumps.
city. Just
Walking through the city.
Hi, Daisy. Hi,
Oh,
James.
days. I thought, oh my God, if we have to look at Lucky's beat up boots forever, I don't know what I might do. But in the same episode, the last scene of the day,
Mm-hmm.
ripped that hood off his head, and we saw beautiful Jonathan Jackson.
He's a handsome guy still after all this time, isn't he? Like,
Yeah,
he's
he is.
really held it together.
He looks good.
Hey, James. Hi, James Fouth. I don't remember seeing James Fouth in the chat before. He says, hi,
James,
guys.
you knew.
I always have to watch you guys after work, but today I get to watch you live. I enjoy your channel. Well, I'm glad that you can join us live, James, and participate in the chat.
Hey,
Daisy is
Love it.
here as well. Hi, Daisy.
hey, Daisy.
And Liz with another donation to the super chat. Thank you so much, Liz. Oh my gosh. We're not going to be able to talk about the show because you guys are so active. So no, we've been spared Lulu boots. We've been spared Lucky boots. We got a hand. It's a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most, not 3 months of teasing this obvious Lulu return at this point. She's not gonna die. No. She's gonna wake up. And here's the thing, Ma. Here's the thing.
I think he's gonna wake up too.
Dante, laying the foundation for the coming story. I'm so concerned, but she's moved on. You know, like there's no way she's in this bed dreaming about me.
Right.
Because he doesn't know that before she got blown the F up, she was kind of like...
She was gonna leave Dustin in the dust.
Yeah.
And she was gonna run back to her some Dante.
Because Dustin was kind of like holding on to this engagement ring that was in his pocket when he got blown up.
Right.
In the floating rib. So, holy smokes. So I feel as though Dante's, laying down the foundation of this. Lulu wakes up and is gonna either not remember that she and Dante have split, or wake up and be dedicated as F to returning to that relationship.
Mhm.
This is my
I
second
think
lease
so,
on
too.
life. Could even be her third lease on life for all I know. And it could very well cause problems for Sam and Dante.
Oh, I think so. It's going to cause problems for Sam and Dante for sure. And yeah, you know what? One thing that I really liked, but they did, and sometimes the recap's not great when they have these, scenes of recap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they kind of did that with Maxie and Lulu,
Yeah.
and it was great actually.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I liked it.
Yes. Yes. And we get
And
these
it reminded you of things,
where they've been, why they're friends, what they've experienced
Yes.
together. Oh my God, Carolyn, that's too much. Take it back. I can refund that. Like, really. But I'll keep it if you want me to.
If
Anyway.
you hit a button, if you hit a number button, extra button, number button in there, didn't mean to, just say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. Holy smokes. Anyway. What we were talking about Lulu. We were talking about Lulu. We were talking about Maxie and Lulu. We were talking about how great it is to recap that relationship, because anybody that's come in new because they like Trina or something has no clue about Lulu and Maxie. They might like Maxie.
I don't know anything about that. And and they reminded us too, Lulu's been asleep for 3.5 years.
Hi,
They
Janet.
reminded us
Oh
of
yes.
that.
Oh yeah. She's been
asleep a long time.
We know for a fact too that they're sort of somewhat accurate. Now it doesn't matter if it's really been 3.5 years, or if it's actually been 5 years, or if it's actually been 6 months. It doesn't really matter real time. What matters is how long she's been asleep on the show, which is, according to them, 3.5 years. That's probably accurate to real timeline as well. I know.
I think it sounds about right.
I'm pretty sure that we floating rib chatted on YouTube.
I think we did too.
So it was definitely since 2020. So
yeah, we started
January 2020, I think.
2021 is when we started on YouTube.
Okay.
January 2021. We started the podcast April 2020.
There you go. There you go. Oh my gosh, reactions coming through too. Carolyn, all yours, Matt and Kat. Oh, well, thank you so much, Carolyn, for your massive donation. Oh, Chandra says, accept your blessings.
Thank you. There you go.
Oh gosh. Oh, thank you so much.
We just don't want to have somebody in an uncomfortable situation they didn't intend. That's all.
It would be awful. It would be awful. What if that's the difference between, like, being able to make a sandwich this week or not? Like, that's a real consideration.
For sure.
Anyway, so Lulu's on her way back. It's going to cause problems for Dante and Sam, which sucks to a degree because I like Dante and Sam, but also at the same time, they kind of plateaued. Like they've maintained a consistent, like, I like them energy.
Because they've been consistently happy for too long.
Yeah. Nothing's really come up between the two of them, or problems blending the families in any real way. Rocco and Danny didn't get into like fist fights, Scout's not being ignored, like they're working out. Even Georgie was like, I'm gonna live here for a minute, like,
it's fun here.
It's blissful over in the penthouse.
It is. It's a happy household.
The
Rocco and Danny are like real brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right. And then Rocco's like, I'm starving. I could eat 3 pizzas. That means he's doing well. Also, that kid is as teen can get, but he's already past his little awkward stage. Mr. Rocco did. So I feel like they may have picked somebody to actually, like, use in like a real, Dad, I really liked Sam. I know Lulu's my mom, but gosh, Sam has been here for me in these formative teen years, and I like her so much, So, good, just a ripple effect.
It will be interesting to see how long do they wait to wake her up. I saw a preview of next week where Laura says, how could the doctors have missed this? That was preview for next week. Laura, and she's upset.
Who's the neurologist at GH? Is there a neurologist at GH that we know that has a name?
Well, I remember a doctor that just recently left, and he was jack of all trades.
And
So
he did
maybe
every.
it's
He's the doctor of infectious everything.
yes.
Yeah, so Finn was that. I guess they could rope TJ into it. I mean, he's kind of their only doctor character.
Well, yeah, the other doctor characters they do show us are day players. They're
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
characters.
But even then, like those other, okay, so like Portia's a doctor. See, I totally forgot about Portia because she's so underutilized recently.
Hmm.
That she's kind of fallen off of the cast almost for me. Not because I don't like her, it's just because she really hasn't been around in any
Well, she doesn't have
heavy way.
she's a supporter right now. She doesn't have a frontlining burner story.
No, she doesn't, and that's something that I've noticed, and also have noticed kind of changed a little bit this week. Not when it comes to Portia, not yet,
Mm-mm.
but oh my God, Ma, we had Marshall on.
I know. And I love Aunt Stella and Hat Daddy together. I do.
Yeah, they really are. They play excellent with each
They're
other.
just so endearing. They're so endearing. I love them.
They've really captured. I think that they both have really captured that spirit of like old people on soaps, where you're not
Hmm.
necessarily perfect and you've had a lot of like baggage that you've left behind in your life, but you're kind of at a point where you can be wise. Yeah,
Right.
they do work together well. The actors work together well, and the characters also. They've done a good job at blending their histories and
Oh,
really.
I love Marshall on there now. I love his, he seems so authentic, and I just love him. I just love him.
Me too. Me too. I think that
And I
he
thought,
brings a lot.
him and Aunt Stella going in on Friday to go heat up some food. It's so believable. I loved
Yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes. The return of Hat Daddy and Stella,
I know.
screams Melissa.
I want them to actually like be a couple. And I've changed my mind. I've always said in the past that Aunt Stella's Curtis's mother. I really don't want that.
No, 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 no.
Don't want that. I want I want Ireene to be Curtis's mother, period.
I think that would be. Yeah, let's just do that. It's okay for these two to fall into each other's arms.
Yeah.
Cinda says they had hinted at romantic stuff between Marshall and Stella, then dropped it. I'm going to
Yep.
add on to your statement, Cinda, and say that they didn't drop it. They just didn't use Marshall for a long time.
Right.
Without one half of that pairing, you really can't push the love story.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not actively in love. There's nothing for Stella to be like, that Marshall, he really is very hot. Like there's nothing there to inspire that.
Right.
Except for one, what they do, like smooch for a sec, or almost come to
Sort
it.
of, sort of. Actually, I think what would push them together and make it so much more believable, because no, we don't want to see, bubble gum and stuff between the two of them. We don't want to see that. But the coming together as a matriarch and patriarch of the family
Mm-hmm.
that needs them,
Yeah,
needs their support, needs their love, needs their guidance, and then they wind up being together, that is golden and so believable.
I think that is very possible to happen as we continue to see the fallout after the I don't know how to word it. That isn't just so terribly sad.
It is terribly sad.
After
And
the incident.
I love this, and what I don't think we've seen this from Jordan in a little bit. Jordan got a little fire underneath her. She's pissed.
Yeah, yeah,
Jordan is pissed.
yeah, yeah. So this all boils down to, in the characters' minds, what, or not what, who is responsible?
Right.
Who is responsible? I'm a little. This is tough. This is tough because I understand who Christina is as a person. They've done
Mhm.
a mile of work over this story to tell
Mhm.
us time and time again who Christina is.
Mhm.
A lot of the reaction that I've seen from viewers who like to share their opinion has not been positive
Mhm.
because they didn't see Christina as this. But they were wrong. Christina, time and time again, has been selfish,
Yes.
has made the wrong choice, has
Yes.
put herself in front of other people in her family. And this is just the biggest thing she's ever done in that category.
Yes. Christina's always been reactive. and impulsive.
Yes.
She doesn't think through her things really, really thoroughly. She's gotten better at it,
Mm-hmm.
but she's still, the basis of her personality is still the basis of her personality.
Exactly. And I think that now that we've seen the story kind of play out through to this point, I think as an audience, we can see these little bits and pieces and moments throughout where you can see this unpredictability of Christina grow and grow. We can now very clearly see that you're totally right. She did not think about this. When she accepted this and pushed to be the surrogate, she was very much, this is what I'm going to do for you because I love you so much. And when Alexis brought up, when Jordan brought up, yeah, but it's your baby.
Yes.
She was like, no, it's going to be totally okay, because she didn't think it all the way through.
No, she didn't know. She didn't realize the maternal feelings where she was going to have as this child grew inside of her own body.
Yes. And I really
didn't realize.
Oh, we were talking about Stella and Marshall, and I think that if there was one person that was going to solve this problem with a sentence, it was what Stella told Christina this week. Listen, we all get it. None of us had the bond with this baby that you did. You knew, physically, you knew the baby. We didn't physically know the baby, essentially, is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
However, this was not your kid. And that was so correct, it was so spot on and right and accurate and smart. And I wish that it landed a little harder in Christina. But ultimately, Ma, this thing boiled down to one sentence between Molly and Christina that I played back 3 or 4 times this week.
What was it?
Never going to give me my baby, were you? No, I wasn't.
Right. But that wasn't always true.
That wasn't always true.
That wasn't always true.
That was true from the moment Christina had a conversation with Blaze about raising the baby.
Yep.
Even
if they hadn't actually spoken it yet.
Right.
But you're right.
What I think is in that moment, at the end of this whole dressing down and arguing and fighting and at the gravesite, Molly says, "You were never going to give me this baby." And that's when Christina goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and admit it to you, to me, to everybody listening right now, this thing that I've been denying. Nah, I wasn't going to give this kid to you." Oh.
Nope.
Holy crap. What?
No, it was crazy. It was crazy. And let me tell you one thing before because I just don't want to not mention or overlook her performance, okay?
Yeah.
Nancy's performance with very few words was outstanding.
It is the joy of my podcasting life, Ma, to have watched the last year of people rejecting and hating this story every moment that it was on TV until this week.
It hasn't been my favorite story either.
It hasn't been my favorite. I've always understood what they were doing. I've always understood the point. I've always got the concept of it. It just hasn't been the thing that's drawn me in as a viewer. I totally understand what you're saying. And that's the same thing for a lot of other people, but they were far more hateful in their commentary about it than we are. However, this week, though, handing out Emmys. Just the fans, just handing out Emmys.
Like a deck of cards.
Right?
You get an Emmy, you get an Emmy, you get an Emmy.
And everybody needs to be nominated. This is the year where the Lansing Davis sisters and everybody walks away with their trophy. They're gonna create a category of funeral scenes just so they can give a trophy to everyone, So we see that time, and I saw that time and time again this week, and it was just the joy of my life because I'm sitting there cackling at the fact that they wouldn't have had this opportunity if it wasn't for playing this story.
Right.
Right.
Oh my gosh. when Alexis says, Molly, please just stop. Oh my gosh, all of it was just so good.
Oh gosh, as much as Alexis says that she didn't pick a side, she totally was on Christina's side the whole time.
I didn't.
She verbalized, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. Here's the website you need to go to. Don't do it though. Here's another resource that you need in order to make this happen. But don't do it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
She
You're
facilitated
right.
this.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. I always thought that she was trying to stay impartial. It seemed like she tried.
I feel I feel like that she didn't really want to pick a side, and she didn't want to PO any of her daughters. She didn't want to make it clear that she was supporting one or the other, or saying, Christina makes a lot of sense. While internally, she wanted both of them to have what they want, but they both couldn't have this baby. So I do feel as though she was giving of herself to both sides, but not in a way that was stopping the situation.
No. And she did try in the beginning. She told both the girls separately and together.
Jordan as well.
This is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember that she was sitting on the couch in her log cabin talking to Christina, saying, okay, so you're pregnant with this baby. You feel this baby. You deliver this baby. And then you have to hand the baby over to TJ and Molly. How are you going to feel about that? It's going to be hard, Mom, but I'm going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know.
It's a gift for my sister. All she was thinking of, it's a gift for my sister.
Mm-hmm.
And just did not think about what it was actually going to be like to grow yourself an offspring right inside your body.
No, she'd never done it before. She doesn't know. And it's also a sign of maybe people who think that they understand something and don't.
Right.
Oh, it's just a biological process. I'm gonna have a baby, and then there's a human now that came out of me, and I'm just gonna hand it over to the person that's supposed to raise this baby.
Yeah.
Not understanding what it means and the emotional and the physical bond that comes with it. And then also, Ma, when it comes to the incident at play of Christina flying out of this window, I'm still unsure as to who to call responsible. I know that I'm not going to say that it's Ava's fault or Jagger's fault, but I can't necessarily call it Christina's fault either.
No, I don't. Like Molly said, why didn't you wait 3 more weeks? Let my baby be born before you go and do all, No, I think when it comes to not thought through plans, I didn't think this was the worst of Christina, actually. Yeah, she went to go tell Ava off. But she never thought in a million years
nobody thought
there would be no physicality at all.
Yeah, and even then, Ava's a bad person. She has shot Connie Falconieri at point blank range. She's up to no good. But I do not foresee her physically assaulting a 9-month pregnant woman. So I don't think that was necessarily on Christina's mind. It wasn't on Ava's mind. And even then, all she did was just, hey, I'm not done talking to you.
Yeah, she didn't push her.
She just kind of grabbed. And then Christina overreacted. We all saw it,
Yes.
Trips over Jagger's bag, falls through the window, and now we're here.
Yes.
But I can't say that it was Ava. I can't say that it was Christina. It was just the situation.
Well, if you have to blame it on somebody, you blame it on Sonny.
I guess, if you're super required, because he was off his meds and pushing for
I'm
custody.
with you, though. I don't think there's anybody 100% at fault.
There's really nobody 100% at fault, and that's part of the tragedy. Christina didn't intend for this to happen, but also at the same time, what Molly says and what TJ says and what everybody says is absolutely real and true, and from my point of view, more real and true than Christina's point of view.
So yeah, it was a lot for Molly to realize. We were going to be in a month from now. We were going to be in the middle of a big cat custody battle.
Yeah. This was a total left turn that we never saw coming. Never saw this coming. Never, ever. Plus, any hotel windows are double and triple paned, says Jeannie.
Exactly. Or they don't. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the soapy part.
But yeah, her falling through the hotel window was the suspend your disbelief on this part of the story.
Right.
Sandra says it was just an accident. Yeah, it was just a really, really unfortunate accident. But when it comes down to it, people are going to blame people. They're going to try to figure out who's responsible and hold them against it because that's human nature and that's soap nature.
Well, and none of this is going to turn out well for Ava, though. Not only is she's partially being blamed pretty much for this fall through the window. She's getting the most of the blame for it so far.
Mm-hmm.
She's also going to get the blame for this whole pill fiasco with Sonny.
Yeah.
She's going to get blamed for that too.
So Ava's tough. Because for the longest time, it seemed very clear that Ava was on the way out. And as we commented last week, it's not so clear anymore that Ava's on the way out. I do think that there's still a way to maintain Ava. Don't call it a redemption because that's a triggering word for people. But to pull Ava back from the ledge that they have put her on and return her to what we have been used to seeing over the last couple of years. Not necessarily the nice version because she doesn't have Nina as the friend anymore and all that. But less
kind of changing a little bit, though, isn't it?
Right. See, so I can see where they're trying to maybe adjust some stuff coming forward so Ava can stay on the show. Which I'm totally here for. I love this. I love if we're going to be keeping Mara West as Ava because she is an asset to the show that they should not get rid of. But with that, so it seems as though things have changed, when it comes to maybe repairing the relationship with Nina to some degree or seeing some sort of common ground. And also, I think that there's an opportunity here for them to do some interesting character Ava exploration where she lived this life, left this life, came back to this life, and it is an immediate disaster for her. Where she can now reflect going, whew, maybe I don't want this as much as I thought I did when Sonny seemed so interesting. Look at what's happened. A child is gone. I'm to blame. Everything that happened around me is being blamed upon me. And this is all because I stepped into Sonny's circle and was like, ooh, interesting crime stuff. There's an opportunity here for some interesting character exploration if they go there. That could pull her back from the ledge as she works on trying to repair some of the damage that she is tangentially responsible for. Hi, Medora.
She's responsible for a lot, but not 100% this baby. She's more responsible for Sonny's downward spiral because she knew he was getting quarter meds.
Yes,
she
absolutely.
knew he was getting quarter meds and she didn't say anything to him because she liked him when he was vulnerable and needy to Ava.
Right, and then he found a new person to help him out.
Right.
And, she didn't like that. Hi, Queen of the South.
Natalia's propped up. Yeah, then she was like, I have competition.
Oh, he actually didn't really, he was just confused. Okay. All right. Now, here's the thing, though. With Sonny being the target, that is less of a you must leave the show than if Laura was the target. You know what I mean? Because Sonny deserves things that happen to him big time. And so it's much easier to sell that, well, Sonny deserved it than anybody else, I think, on the canvas. And that's also a point in they were going to keep Ava category as well, because she can do whatever she wants to Sonny and it'll be okay. She doesn't have to leave the show for it because there's enough understanding from the fans that Sonny deserves it. He might be the hero, quote unquote, like the central character that we're supposed to as fans support and want to see succeed. But he's still a mobster bad guy who deserves it. So, do we know what's going on with Ava, says Lara. Not in any official way, but it seems like it's different than what it was a couple of weeks ago. Just to recap what we had just been talking about for you, Lara.
2 weeks ago, I thought Sonny was going to kill her, take her out to the Pine Barrens, and not give her a ride home.
Yeah, and
that's what I thought was going to happen to her.
Maybe
a couple weeks ago.
Maybe it's Jagger I need to take out then, huh? Maybe it's Jason. Go whack that guy. I think that we might be getting to that rather than Ava.
Well, now he knows he needs to go find Valentine too.
which is great too, because I was worried that we were losing James Patrick Stewart. Here's what it boils down to, folks. Last week we reported, way late because everybody else had said so, that Chris Van Etten, who was a previous head writer, part of the Chris and Dan team that we were talking about, last year, he's back. He's back now again as head writer. Yes. He's paired up with Elizabeth Cordy. Okay? So she's the one that's well known as the historian and has all the facts and figures and all that sort of stuff. We talked last week about how Chris and Dan's pacing was their biggest problem, not necessarily the content of their stories, not necessarily the characters they were using or inventing. Those weren't the problems. It was how fast we were getting to stuff. It was incredibly slow.
Arcs, not everything can be a year-long arc.
Right.
You can have a year-long arc, but not all of the stories can be a year-long arc.
Exactly. We talked about that too. The 8-week story, the 16-week story, the 24-week story, the 52-week story. You have to sprinkle them through. You can't have them all be the same. And we saw with Chris and Dan too. They would have the story and all of them would clear at the same time. All of them would clear at the same time. I see them trying to simulate a season type of mentality.
In their storytelling before, it just reminded me more of old school days of story, sweeps.
A literal sweep.
Okay,
yeah, it seemed very
all the
seasonal.
stories, boop, and then boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. It seemed very seasonal, or this is the story for the 51st season. Here's the story for the 52nd season, the 53rd season. So I get the mentality and structure for that, but it wasn't engaging. It wasn't enough to keep us moving forward and wanting to see where this stuff goes. Not that it was bad, it was just slow. Chandra says, we're at warp speed now, and that is the truth. I think what we have is the historical understanding from Elizabeth Cordy. I'm going to give her credit for the Cyrus, Laura, Marty relationship. I don't know if she wrote it, but I'm going to give her credit for it.
Seems like her wheelhouse, doesn't it?
It's characters that she knows and loves, and it was deeply rooted in General Hospital history. But the story was given to her by Chris and Dan to write. So I wrote what I think and what I hope, and I'm crossing my fingers, and I said it last week, and I'm going to reiterate it again this week. I really hope that these two writers bring out the very best in each other. And so far, that is what I'm seeing. From last week to this week, and I only have 2 weeks to talk about, in which it's really easy to be exciting in the first 2 weeks. I see a lot of positive movement and momentum. People said that, though, when Patrick Mulcahy and Elizabeth Cordy took over. Jason comes back, Jagger comes through, ooh, excitement, this is in, and then it kind of fizzles. But we had writers changes again. So let's settle this down. Let's keep these two and see what they can do. I think that they, so far, have been working out.
Yeah.
I'm with it, Ma. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for it, too.
Because we get Marshall. We get some renewed Ashford perspective. Trina's there having a conversation with Jocelyn, which they're not seeing eye to eye about something.
Yeah, they had a little tiff, but they got over it quickly.
They're good friends.
The only thing that I thought, and not that she would have had it's not like she would add a whole lot to the story. The Ashfords haven't come together for a meal after the service.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird that Trina wasn't there.
It is a little weird.
Trina wasn't at the funeral.
Yeah. Well, it is strange, but also, she's not TJ's sister,
No.
She's his cousin. They really haven't lived together. She didn't even know she was his cousin until the whole Taggart situation. I don't think that they have much of a bond.
I agree with you, but all the Ashfords were there except for her. All their family was there except for her.
It would seem as though Trina would be there.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not like she was going to have these lines that were going to draw story. It wasn't.
It's likely the reason she wasn't there is,
I know.
I know that you know. That's likely the reason she wasn't there, because as we all know, you included, and maybe a fan doesn't, actors cost money.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing anything for the scene and you have dates and you have a paycheck and all this kind of stuff, and your time would be better served with an argument with Jocelyn rather than sitting in the back of a funeral, then that'll be the decision that they make. It does lead to a little bit of questions, some awkwardness when it comes to your immersion. when it comes to just throwing away reality and throwing yourself into this. Seeing a glaring member of the family missing can be pretty jarring. I think a funeral after Spencer was hard on Trina, says Medora. Well, there we go. There's an answer. There's a logical reason.
True.
And maybe
That's
she showed
true.
up. Maybe there was a dinner that she showed up to afterward.
Maybe.
Oh gosh. Chandra liked Trina was at the funeral but didn't go to the house, says Chandra. Okay.
Oh,
So maybe she was sitting in the back. It's hard for me to remember who exactly was, because my memory is on hardcore on the argument, not necessarily on who was standing in the back, you know?
Well, back to the argument at the gravesite. I thought it was so sad that they have this family just falling apart at this gravesite. That's so dang sad. But when Christina just collapsed, I did love her. Oh my gosh.
It's heartbreaking.
It was heart-wrenching. It was heart-wrenching. And I won't say that Lexi and Haley couldn't have pulled this off.
But it's better with these actors.
These two young ladies proved that they really could.
They really could, and they really want here. We've talked about it before. The recasting has matured the characters. Not like now they're gray and old, but matured their personalities, matured them in their place in life. When you switch up the actor, you're able to say, well, now this is what they're doing.
Right.
GH does it all the time, to a point where Maurice Bernard jokes about it. Dad, that was the other actor. You know?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, and they really utilize that. I think that making the cast, now I know that they didn't intend on changing Haley Poulos, but they might have by the time we got here.
They might have.
Because she had moments, for sure. But she does not look older than Kate Mansi. She doesn't look even age appropriate to Kate Mansi. You know, I think Christina is the older sister, right? And Molly's in the middle.
Yes.
Yes,
Molly's in the middle.
Molly's the youngest. Christina's in the middle.
Molly's the baby. We all forgot about Sam for a second, didn't we?
From the
Sam,
Alexis point of view.
I think, is supposed to be somewhat older than either one of the other girls, though.
Yeah. Like that was an Alexis pregnancy when she was like late teens, early 20s type of thing. Yeah. So Molly's the youngest, the baby.
Yes.
But there was just a separation between Kate Mansi and Haley Poulos. And it might be because I was used to seeing Haley Poulos and Lexi Ainsworth together. So changing out both.
We did for years.
Yeah. So changing out both of those actors, even though they didn't originally want to, really, really, really enhanced this. And they found somebody who has chemistry off the charts with Taj Bello. Like, at first I was like, okay, maybe I'll see them break up. You know, they've been together forever and this is tough. Maybe we can find something else. And now I want to see them continue their relationship after all of this and after all the scenes they played together. And now the chance for both of them to really show what they can do with each other on a scene that isn't TJ being ridiculously angry for no logical, real, understandable reason.
Well, he if she would have actually taken the baby, one of the biggest, well, I could have to say the biggest victim in this would be TJ.
Oh, totally.
To me.
Totally. He has every right to hate everybody.
And that's the reason why Jordan is so damn mad at Christina right now, is because he was going to try to steal her granddaughter from her.
Oh, yes. This is much bigger than I'm not going to give you your baby, Molly. I was going to keep TJ's baby. I was going to hold this baby away from the Ashfords who would want her and love her.
Yes.
And she was going to be mine.
Yes,
I even named her Adela. Her name's not Ireene. I named her Adela. You named her without me. Of course we named her without you, Christina. She's not your kid. But she is my kid. I never signed anything. Well, you're right.
I'll tell you.
When Christina's like, no, this kid's name is Adela, I'm like, Christina. Because mostly, like, Ireene as the name versus Adela as the name. When it comes to who this baby's family was supposed to be, which name is more appropriate? Ireene, not Adela. Is Molly related to Adela? Not really.
No, not
She's
really.
a Lansing Davis.
Yeah. So yeah, Adela is Christina's, yes, paternal grandmother.
I don't think Adela is Rick's mom, right?
Yes, Adela
Yes.
is Rick's
Okay.
mom.
Well, regardless. So, like it doesn't fit as much as Ireene. I know that it fits, but
Right.
it doesn't fit as much as
Right.
Ireene. Adela is the name of a Corinthos baby, not an Ashford baby.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that just turned. I don't know the right word because I'm not sitting here gagging or anything, but it broke my heart. We'll say when she's like, "No, this baby's name is Adela," because I'm like, that is so wrong. That is so incorrect, Christina. And
Mhm.
I get it. This is a legal matter more than
Right.
anything else. Because when it
Mhm.
comes to the law, that was her kid. She should have been.
Mhm.
When it comes to the law, she should have named it. When it comes to the law, she should be the most sad. But it's kind of not about that.
Right.
Oh, it is so complex and it's so deep and it is so sudsy that I can't even see the rest of the show because of it.
And when Christina heard the name Ireene over and over and over within that day, and she never said a word. She never said a word.
Perry the platypus. What adventure are you on, Platypus Perry? Hi. Adela is Molly's grandma. Adela didn't raise Rick. Sonny's mother and Rick's mother. So yeah, I mean there is a familial tie, but
Mm-hmm.
Molly is not a Corinthos.
No,
She's not. She's not. She
he's
just
not.
isn't. And so Adela just
Well,
isn't the
he
appropriate
kind
name.
of is, though, because that's Adela's maiden name.
She's
Kind of.
is Adela her biological grandmother? Yes.
Yes.
Is naming your baby Adela over Ireene the right move? No.
But my point was, I don't think that Christina was trying to shove it in her face.
No. But it does show the separation between the mindset of the two sisters and kind
Yeah.
of who it. I mean, we got in the weeds here when it came to like blood ties,
Yeah.
but the original point was showing who the mother of the baby is.
Mm-hmm.
I get that Adela is Molly's grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know crap about their relationship. They probably never had one. I think Adela's been dead forever.
Adela's
So,
been gone for Adela never got to meet any of her grandchildren.
and it's not like Rick has been around being a super dad.
No, but you know what? They did a great job of explaining why
Yeah.
this week. Why he's so absent. The reason why he's so absent is because no one in Port Charles can stand his ass.
We all hate you. We all hate you and
So
everything that
funny.
you've done. I've just stayed away. I've sent her a text every once in a while.
Port Charles, not my
Oh
fan.
gosh, let's see what some people have to say about this. So yeah,
It was cracked,
so technically yes, but Rick and Molly don't have the same connection. Okay, all right, says Lara. I'm with that.
I agree.
Kelly says Molly was trying to get Christina to sign papers and then backed off. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But they never signed the papers and they argued about the papers. Christina's like, we don't need these. I'm going to give you the baby anyway. And it was abundantly clear as time went on to Christina and TJ that no matter what Christina said, it wasn't going to work out the way that Christina thought that she was going to do it. I think it's a matter of Molly and TJ, and we've seen it time and time again with how they've kind of talked to Christina. We know you better than you know you. This isn't going to work. And they were
I
right.
think they talk down to her sometimes.
A little bit here and there. I mean, were they a little intense with their expectations? Yes, but also, look how it all turned out. Maybe they were correct in being that controlling and that on top of it.
And you know
Because
who
of
was
the
right
risk.
all along? Who was right all along
Jordan.
was Alexis and us.
And also, yes, heck yeah. Well, I mean, we were wrong about the baby not making it, but we were very right about Christina being like, nope, this is my kid.
Yep.
So, oh God, holy crap. We've spent so much time talking about this. Other stuff happened. Christina is the biological mother, but that baby was Molly's, says Daisy. Well, let's continue to read this. Let me continue to read
Absolutely.
this. Melissa says, by DNA and law, that child was Christina's, says Melissa. She's the listed birth mother, and it's her biological child. Molly may have had the baby in her heart and her daughter, but that never actually became a reality. Very true. Very true.
Yep.
We're talking about what the
And
future should
that's
have
why
been.
she was supposed to sign the papers when she was 3 months pregnant.
Right. To avoid that. To
Right.
avoid that entirely. So yeah, Melissa, you're totally correct about it. This comes to it is a legal and emotional problem. Legally, it's very clear. It's very clear legally who this baby belongs to. Emotionally, what it's supposed to be, who's the real parents, all that sort of stuff. We never were able to even have a baby to really figure that out, and so everybody feels like they would have been the parent. And so everybody's super sad.
There would have been a whole lot of custody battle in front of them, that's for sure.
Yes.
And I thought that's what we were going to see, because I don't think any of us, as fans, as viewers, wanted another passed away child.
No.
You know, we have had, Gina's just had their fair share of passed away babies in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking forward to another passed away baby. Evident, but you know, that's what we got.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, no, nobody saw it coming. Nobody really wanted it. But now that it's happened, I'm not unhappy. You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh gosh, they should have did a different story. Like, I'm totally enjoying what they're doing. Ireene has been dead longer than Adela, says Melissa. But she's been more present in the Ashfords' memories and life than Adela. Adela had a lot of influence on Sonny, but Adela has had no influence on Michael. You know what I mean? While the memory of Ireene, the memory of Ireene is still very alive with the Ashfords, I feel.
Yes.
Anyway.
Because of Stella and Curtis more than anybody.
More than anybody, but it's still a fact and a factor. Kaiwan says when he left back in 2013, Rick was very much a monster, a person non grata when he left. Persona non grata. Like, everybody hated him. Christina is the biological mother, but that baby was Molly's, says Daisy. Overboard at the funeral, but I can't judge a woman with hormones and in physical and emotional pain, says Laura. And that's very true, too. Christina feels very much regretful while everybody else is pissed at her. Let's face it, the baby was TJ's. That's known, that's undebatable. TJ should make the decisions, says Melissa.
What I just said a few minutes ago, the biggest victim in all of this is TJ.
Yeah, I think that TJ should lay down the law and say, this is how it should have been, and this is how I'd like for us to treat it going forward. This baby was mine and Molly's. All right. Everything Molly said to Christina was true. Christina is a mess, a train wreck, says Daisy. Look at this. I don't think Christina did any preparations for the baby. No cribs, no diapers, nothing. You can get that done in the last 2 weeks. She's loaded. She's Sonny's kid.
Who's going to run somebody to the store? Oh, and Sonny's her dad. Yeah. By the time she got home from the hospital, it would have been fully stocked.
The whole thing would have been done. Like, it would have been painted and everything.
Exactly. With the little bunnies, like from back at Jason's house.
Yeah, right. Melissa says that Sonny is a Corbin. Yes, Sonny is a Corbin. Adela also a Corinthos.
Yep.
Adela Corinthos.
Yes.
And Rick's a Lansing because his daddy's name was Lansing, and he didn't revert to Corinthos because Sonny would have been Michael Corbin Jr. or whatever.
But Sonny changed his name because he was so pissed at his dad all the time.
Yeah. Should have had the papers before she was impregnated, but then it wouldn't have the storyline. You're right, Chandra.
Exactly. Because we can't, in soap opera land, if you did things sensible, well, then what would we have a story for?
I mean, everybody would be in a happy family. I mean, but then again, it's not like everybody's in a happy family in real life.
No.
Molly would have had to legally adopt her. I was hoping Alexis was going to be able to convince Christina to not go through with it, but it didn't happen that way.
She actually tried. I don't think she tried as hard as she could have, but she did try.
She didn't sign the papers, Melissa says, because Molly can't legally adopt an unborn child. If Molly and TJ broke up while Christina was pregnant, she'd have to sign the papers and Molly would have no legal recourse. TJ could keep it. I mean, sure. I think that you probably can adopt an unborn baby, because how are you adopting a baby at day one? You know what I mean? Unless you've arranged it ahead of time.
I don't really know.
When like the mother gives birth and then you take,
except for the date.
You know, the baby back to the home yourself, you know, after you've arranged it with, and it's not the surrogate, it's just a new baby that's coming. I feel like that happens. Listen, I don't know. I think that's a very specific law detail that's never going to come up in this story.
I wonder
Christina,
how long Rick's going to stick around.
I think like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. It's basically meant to be this story. But as we
Okay.
learned from Lois, if you're having a good time, you're going to ask to stick around.
True. And she's sticking around.
Let's see. Rochelle says that's okay. TJ's going to end up with 2 more babies. One with Molly, surprise miracle baby, and the other surrogate that has the baby that didn't pass away.
I tell you, I think you're right, maybe right about the Molly thing, because they made sure that we got a TJ Molly love scene 6 weeks ago, 4
Something
weeks
like
ago.
That. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and it was intense.
Baby maybe brewing already.
It was intense. It was like, hey, they are doing it, folks. They are doing it. He is giving it to her. Let's see here. That baby would have had a full nursery and a new record album as soon as she came home.
Right?
Charlie says, I hope longer. Rick and Ava. Ooh, Rick, Ava, and Jagger. Ooh, Rick and Lois. I'm calling it Rick and Lois. I'm calling it, says Kaiwan.
Oh, Lois is too good for him.
Rick and Sam were giving each other's looks.
That's because they've been to bed together.
Yeah, Sam has already done the whole like Corinthos brother thing.
Oh, she sure has.
It's like Days of Our Lives with EJ. You know, you slept with me and also my brother and my other brother.
But you're okay, not at the same time.
No, it was years ago. Let's see. The birth mother has a set amount of time to be able to change her mind in most cases. I forgot about Nina being married to Rick. Oh, yeah, Nina was married to Rick for a minute, wasn't she?
Yep.
I had a cousin who was told she couldn't have children, says Chandra. And as they were in the final stages of adopting a child, she learned she was expecting. What happened to the adoption, Chandra? I'm mad that they I'm mad they had the temerity? I don't know what that word means. To bully Lois.
I know, right?
So they were talking about Lois's accent. And do you think that this might be an opportunity for Renasover to be like, hey guys, so I've been doing this accent on the show for a long time now, and I'm kind of tired of doing this accent. You think I might be able to do something a little more normal?
No.
No? Because that is Lois, right?
No. I think what they need to have the character do, and I think we actually saw that a little bit yesterday at the very end. Friday at the very end. No. Lois needs to embrace who she is.
I'm not going to fall into this mold for you. You chose me to be your spokeswoman because of who I am.
Exactly.
And so that's what I'm going to be on this show. By the way...
And I think that Brooklyn tried to tell her that. And even Tracy tried to tell her that in not such a nice way, but even Tracy. So
yeah, I'm surprised.
I told her what a great job she did.
Oh, they adopted Quentin and had Raymond Jr. Well, there you go. Everybody's happy and has a home, says Chandra. Or Chandra said that, and I said everybody has a happy has a home.
I have a friend like that too. She adopted her. I believe it was her brother-in-law's child, her husband's brother's child. Adopted him. And she had tried to have a child for over 10 years and had, she was taking her temperature and doing this and doing that,
Yeah.
And after they adopted that baby, she just stopped trying. And what happened? She wound up with 2 sons as well.
The best way to not have a baby is to stop trying to have one. We're
and it's so funny too. This is a friend of mine. So what's so funny too is she had these 2 little boys.
Hello, Rendell.
She was quite a shopper when it came to clothing and stuff for children. And she had herself a budget for that. And Matthew was but just 6-8 months younger than those 2 little boys. And you got all their clothes. You were a sharp dressed little boy.
If only I could maintain that hand me down to today. Oh, but I'd love to not have to think about my own clothes. Oh, listen, Lois was second guessing herself. Oh, let's not have that, Lois. Surprised BOQ didn't.
I didn't like that either. She was immediately self-conscious of who she was.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I hated that.
Yeah. And Melissa, I mean, yeah, Ma, you've always loved Lois too. Like you've been a Lois fan even from like back in the day. So you gotta keep
I've always loved Lois.
you gotta keep Lois feeling good and
I
confident.
mean, that's like Brooklyn said. Like Brooklyn said, someone going to tell you you're going to wear pale pink nail polish for the end of your life?
Well, no, I can't do that. I
That's
gotta
what
do my
that's
stars
what
and moons.
said. That's it.
Melissa goes, I'm surprised that BLQ didn't point out that she also sounds so much like Lois that they're bullying her as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
And they decided to make Haven a good person.
It's because Morgan Fairchild is out of there. So they were trying so she's done. And they're moving forward with this Pearl person.
Yes. And I actually saw that GH, you can buy some deception
And that is why
product
they
now.
did this. And that's why they did this. So there is a real store out there called Knocking. Like Knocking.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of it before now, but it exists. And it seems like they are a store that's like, hey, you saw that on TV, buy it from us. Kind of thing. I don't know if it's exactly that, but it kind of gives me that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And so General Hospital, now in partnership with Knocking, has a section of the Knocking website that is called Home and Heart. And you can go to homeandheart.com. Or what is it? It's GH Home and Heart or shophomeandheart.com. And you can get the handbags that the actors have. You can get the Deceptor wand, which is one of those red light therapy things. Finally, we figure out what it is. It's a red light therapy thing. Baloney, don't buy it. Like,
Unless you just want one that says Deceptor wand.
I mean, don't buy any of that red light stuff. It's all baloney. Red light? Come on. That's like, ooh, my magnets is gonna fix my joints, like Grandpa Al used to do.
Yeah, he did.
He had magnets and he had little shockers and all kinds of little things that were just baloney. But
it has a placebo effect on you if you believe it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. GH actually has a Home and Heart website. Yeah, so shophomeandheart.com. You can get the Deceptor one, all that sort of stuff. So GH doing a little bit of partnership, which I think
I haven't looked yet on the website. I'm going to. I'm curious.
I mean, the stuff is as expensive as you would think it is. You know, it's not like they sold mugs for cheap, so they're not selling a Deceptor wand for cheap either. But it is neat. I like to see that, and I also like to see that this shop, this Knocking shop, saw an opportunity with the show, and they did the partnership there. That's a good sign.
Who reached out to who?
I don't really know who reached out to who, but I think that it's smart. And I think that it's also a sign of this is tough. I need a word in a way that's very fair. There's a lot of reaction and commentary over the published numbers of people who are watching this show on cable, which is not good because it's not a strong cable performer. But seeing things like this, partnerships and collaborations with something outside of the soap world and stuff, is a bigger sign than your Nielsen ratings over how valuable the show is. If Knocking didn't see an opportunity here, they wouldn't have gone forward with it.
Knocking saw a knocking opportunity for some revenue.
Yes. Hello, LaShun. And there was somebody else that came through here too. Rachel, hi. Medora, hi. It was a name that I didn't recognize. Oh, Rodelli. Hello, Rodelli. Rodelli? Rodelli. Phonetically spell it for me, please. Hi. She says, he or she says, Rick and Portia. Get Portia away from Curtis.
Well, when it comes to I just don't see, I know Rick Lansing is not a good person. He's not a good person. So I don't want to saddle him with somebody that's got some redeeming value.
Right.
Even though she may not deserve him all the way, but she would be a good person for him to scheme with. Mm-hmm. And she would be, she could probably get the better hand of him too, because she's just as rotten as he is. Ava and Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Ava and Rick. Putting their heads together against their common enemy.
Sunny.
Curran.
Well, Rochelle
That's a
says,
good story. That's a good story for Maura to stick around for.
yeah, it would be. It was a good reason for Rick to stick around too.
I know he lives in Jersey, but
Joyce.
he's
Maybe he
probably
can move.
staying with somebody in that valley now anyway.
Ken Schreiner's house, something. Rochelle says that the red light therapy helped her with with an injury that she had. So,
well, all the difference, Matthew, is if it's what kind of bulb's in that sucker. If it's a little red bulb from Christmas tree lights, no, that's not doing nothing for you. But maybe, the one that. Anyway.
Oh gosh! Apparently, all the purses on shophomeandheart.com are named after the General Hospital characters.
Ooh. I bet the one that's named Lois is very blingy and got fringe on it.
When is Robert Scorpio going to meet his nephew, Cody Bell? I mean, he already has.
He was on the previews for next week, too.
Hey, there you go. Oh,
I don't know what he was talking about, but I saw Robert on the previews for next week. He might be
supporting his Anna.
We are going to see Robert. He should support his Anna because I think Anna needs help. Anna's done, Anna fell on her head.
Is she dumb now?
Yeah, a little bit.
That house burning down just burned her brain.
Well, when it comes to like sleuthing, Anna ain't been on her game for a while now.
No. They should never have made her the PC because she joined the PCPD, and what does that do? Makes you a bad cop.
Makes you a bumbling Bobby.
So she should not have been doing that. LaShawn says Haley Poulos is not coming back to General Hospital as Molly. Absolutely not. I don't think anybody is even expecting that anymore.
There was rumblings on the internet about it last week but you see the rumblings a lot. But there was rumblings that Haley was coming back last week. I don't believe that. It just doesn't make good PR sense for General Hospital to have her back.
It doesn't make good PR sense. No. Given the performances that we got from the gravesite this week, I think that Katie has really anchored her position for a while. They may have even slid her an extended contract after that.
It was good.
It was very good. It was a job keeping good. Job keeping good.
Both the girls. Both of the girls were just so good.
When it comes down to it, Haley Poulos, while showing some remorse, has not gone to the level that she needs to in order to recoup some fan faith.
No. And I think another reason why there's been some rumblings about that recently is she did get out of that facility that she was in recently.
Yeah. She
left that facility recently.
She served her time in the rehab and did everything, went to jail and did all that stuff. And Nancy Lee Grahn wasn't happy about it, but ultimately, she's fine. So who knows what the future is for Haley Poulos? But no, it's not going to be General Hospital, at least no time soon.
No, I think if we saw Haley Poulos, you might see her on something else before you saw her
in Salem. All right, Anna to Jason. The last time I asked you to wait, you got screwed over. So please don't do it again. Oh my gosh, Haley Poulos may have had a hard time getting hired anywhere. She could be seen as a liability.
Well, she would be right now.
Yeah, she can. A little more time. A little more time.
I wouldn't say her career's over, but I think it's on a break.
Okay. Who do you think has Lucky?
Oh my gosh, I don't know who the heck has Lucky.
So this was not the return setup that we were expecting and anticipating. We were musing that Laura goes and sees Lucky with Lulu, but no, we got Cyrus and Lulu. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We've been podcasting for over
I would love it if Uncle Cyrus saves him.
Oh, wouldn't that be neat?
Tap into his old Uncle Cyrus self.
So one of two things: either Uncle Cyrus goes to save him, or Uncle Cyrus is the one who's got him.
Yeah, one or the other.
I found Lucky. I'm bringing him back to town.
Oh my goodness! Back when we had, I'm not trying to be brash, but after we got Save Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
After we got Save Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
He still protected Spencer in jail and tapped in his old self when it came to that dude in the library.
Yes, he did.
He tapped in his own self.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So he may do the same thing with Nephew Lucky.
I mean, I hope we get that Hannibal Lecter stuff that we were looking for.
I would love that.
His criminal powers for good.
Oh, I would love it if Cyrus saved Lucky. Even
though Hannibal Lecter, like, you know, was just trying to get out of jail the whole time and wasn't really being a good guy, I want the good guy aspect.
No, let's leave Hannibal Lecter for President Trump, okay?
God. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Admirable man. Admirable man. Anyway, this is how you know I'm doing Trump.
Yeah.
This is what I do. Anyway, so yeah, we think it was just gonna hang out and like, oh my God, Lucky, oh Lulu, la 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 la. But no. This man is kidnapped. This man is in the exact same jail cell that they held Drew in. Literally the same set. Literally the same. Yeah. It's probably not Crete.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised if we see something. Okay, this would tell you where he's at. But I don't think that's where he's at. If there's like marks on the wall and it says Scout, it's the same place Drew was.
Who's Scout? Well, Melissa theorizes that's Monterey. Kelly theorizes that it's Valentine.
Could be.
It might be Valentine.
That could be his get out of jail card right there. Lucky.
Melissa says it'll be Brad. Melissa.
Well, Brad did show up last week. That was weird.
Again, thank you, Chris Van Etten, for returning some of these characters that had been a little more prominent a few years ago, that were left behind by the writing team. That listen, Ma, you got to take a look at the variables, and the only variable that has changed is Chris Van Etten. And suddenly we have these characters on again that had been off for a long time. That's not scheduling and actor availability. That is a writer writing for them again.
Yep.
And I love it. I love it too. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Lip locking cousins. I miss Mason. Oh, lollipop licking cousin. Oh God. I miss Mason. Mason was a vibe. Yeah, I mean, if Cyrus is running around again.
We had him on our show.
We sure did. Shoot, if Nathaniel Gray comes back, we'll have him back on the show. There's room there. There's room there. Because he can get out of jail and be like, okay, all right, boss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, boss. Mm-hmm. How we doing this now, you know?
And all these months later, are we ever going to see who killed Austin?
No. Not unless Mason comes back. Yeah, no. Melissa says we should all send lollipops to the GHHQ. If we create a schedule and every one of us, you know, like Monday I'll send one, Tuesday Mom sends one, Wednesday Chandra sends one, Thursday Melissa sends one, Friday Kelly sends one, right? We do that. Then we get a bunch of lollipops from a wide range of people with names, and they'll think that they need to bring Mason back. And I promise you that would be far more effective than complaining about it on Twitter.
Sure would.
Oh gosh. Oh, remember to like the show, everybody, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet, by the way. So great to see Lucky. We got to see him on Friday, but nothing has happened yet for us to comment on much other than he's kidnapped somewhere in the same set that they held Drew. It's just the same set.
And they're not being nice to him. They had a hood on his head.
Yeah, he's been kidnapped by someone. I think of the theories that have been shared in the chat, I think Valentine actually might be the most likely culprit.
I do too. And the only reason why is because he's a Cassadine.
He's a Cassadine. Cassadine and Spencers are very interconnected.
Exactly.
Very interconnected.
Exactly.
On top of that too, Valentine is likely, while he is on the run, he still needs to be positioning something in between him and the law. Mm-hmm. And you got the son of the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. So, but Lucky's slicker than that. No, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna Spencer himself out of there.
Oh, very likely. Very likely. For all we know, he's been held for a day. You know what I mean? We don't know anything about it. All I know is that the reveal of Lucky's face was not the way that I expected it to be.
Me either. And I love it when GH proves me wrong. which is regularly.
Yes, all the time, really. Kelly says it's whoever is Valentine's boss. Kelly thinking that Valentine is still taking orders from somebody. If that's the case, the show has gone to lengths to hide that because they really set up Valentine as being at the top of the heap.
Well, they could really.
So if there is one more.
Well, they can really lean
Super
into
secret.
Jagger being rotten.
Look at that, Ma. Look how white this is. And how dark that is still. I'm going to have like a Hulk Hogan Fu Manchu, and everything else is going to be gray.
Well, I think you're going to look really cool. I'm going to like it.
Oh, yeah?
Did you notice that Curtis shaved off his goatee this week?
Yeah, it always, whenever somebody does a massive change to their facial hair like that, it always takes me by surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
I noticed that. I noticed that. Where's Curtis's goatee? I think it's very striking on him. I think he looks great in a goatee, especially since it's so white.
Yeah.
It looks
awesome. Oh, yeah. It
looks awesome.
Maybe he was filming something in which they didn't want the gray.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe he was doing a little side gig, and they said, "Oh, we don't need a gray goatee for this."
You know, we're going for late 30s, not mid 40s. Why don't you shave that?
But I bet you he grows it back. He does.
Oh, Kelly likes it. She says it's cool. All right, I'll take your guys' word for it because it's increased the speed quite a bit.
Well, Matthew, I'm sorry to baby. Every day you're a day older.
I know that.
Me
but
too.
It surprises me because I see this every day, and so I'm not alarmed by it. I hardly notice the subtle changes as anybody does with their own body because I see it every day. But I have seen pictures of me 3 years ago, like before moving to LA, in which this was still very, very brown.
Yeah.
Anyway, Carolyn says I'm right. Well, great. I'm glad that I'm right, Carolyn. I don't know what about. I'm happy to be it. Willow's in her room playing Teardrops on my guitar. Oh, my guitar gently weeps.
I really think that it's going to be unfortunate, but I think Willow is gonna walk in on her mom.
Yeah, and I
really do think so.
And I also think that we're hopping off of the Willow Drew train just as quickly as we hopped onto it as well. I think that they kissed. I don't think that they're going to do it. I think she's going to run into Nina and Drew before they're able to cross the threshold, and that's going to change the butterflies I have about Drew. I think that's where we're going, and I think we're going to get there sooner rather than later. I get the feeling just from what we're seeing on the show, not from what people are saying, but from what we're seeing from the final edited product, that they did the Drew and Willow thing, and they were pushing Drew to be a particular way, and then the result after watching it over the course of a couple of weeks had left the show going, I don't think this is it.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, Drew this way is creepy. He's got a creep factor.
Oh, definitely.
And I think that's,
I'm not sure if that's exactly.
I said, you don't remind me of Ryan Lavery.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that's whether we're going for either. That just might be how Cameron Matheson has interpreted the content. And it's not how it was necessarily originally written. Because, this is lightning speed. We don't have time to do it 1,000 times. It really is up to the actor to kind of decide what the content is, not necessarily the director. Because the director's like, put sound there, here's a light, do that. The notes that I have from Fido are all about shots, not about performance. So I don't think that they get much performance direction. I think that really comes from the actor a lot. And so if he's misinterpreting it or performing it in a way that wasn't necessarily how they intended it to be written, I can see how they're going, okay, this isn't the vibe we were going for. We wanted a little more enticement, a little more, ooh, will they, won't they, rather than why is he pressing this? And so I can see how the show might be making some changes there to hop off of that train and go in a different direction. I can see it. I don't know if it will, but I can see how they might be doing that.
I don't care how you paint it. You got uncle going after niece-in-law. That's not gonna be cute.
No. I would say that
it's not gonna be cute.
No, if this were to be more successful and more believable from the audience's point of view, more palatable, I'll say, I think that Drew and Willow would have needed a romance before Willow and Michael had one.
Yes.
Because then it could be rekindling some lost feelings, or we never really got over it like we thought we did, and it would inform it and make it have a little more sense. Because as it stands right now,
I agree with you.
this is a couple of weeks now. To their credit, there's a couple of weeks of Willow and Drew kind of giving each other their eyes before they really said anything.
Especially at the pool.
Especially at the pool, but it's just not coming off, I think, the way that they intended it, and so they're hopping off of that and going in a different direction.
It came across creeping to me.
Oh yeah, the audience or the fans here, the chat participants of the Matt and Cat and Chat experience. um, Chandra says it's creepy and swarmy. Jeannie doesn't like it at all. Laura says that Drew came off as crappy to me. Cinda says it's definitely a creep factor. They changed him. Melissa says, why are we forgetting that Willow's uncle is a serial killing vampire? Okay, Melissa. I guess Silas's brother was a vampire. He's not like that before from what I saw on YouTube. You're right, Laura. This is a bit of a change to the Drew character.
Yeah, it's a big
it's too much of a course correction for Drew, because he really was, hey guys, I'm here to improve your life. I've got so much energy behind me. I like me, you like me, and I'm going to help you like you. Come on. And
exactly.
And they have really
redirected that
and tried to do something that wasn't that. And it's not working right now with Drew.
But if they want me to go away and campaign for a while,
and that's what I was about to say. Cameron Matheson, when he gets a new project, we hear about it. He's very much in the news when it comes to something new that he's doing. He's hosting game shows or something now. He's doing a string of movies for All American Family. He's doing a thing with Candace Cameron Bure. All sorts of different things in the conservative world that are going to be distracting from his continued presence on General Hospital. Does that mean he's going anywhere?
Going through a personal thing too.
Yeah, he's going through a divorce right now too in real life. Does this mean that he's going somewhere permanently? No, but I can certainly see a 6-month campaign trail where Drew is gone, and we can, as writers and as audiences, forget a little bit about what he's been up to and come back fresh.
Yes.
This is important for characters.
Yes.
We don't get it a lot when it comes to your big three on General Hospital. Carly, Sunny, and Jason. You can expect that they're going to be involved in something without a break. It's also important for those characters to rest. This was kind of a rest week for Carly and Sunny. Not so much for Jason. But it was kind of a rest week for them. But other characters can need, and including those, they could need it too. Don't think that I'm, putting them in a class above the rest or anything. But having those breaks, having those times in which you're not the focus, in which you move out of town for a little while. Days of Our Lives does it so well, where you just give the character a break and then bring them back. Fresh and new in the middle of a story. And then you don't have a chance to go, well, welcome then.
They just, on days, they just send you upstairs for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
3
and then you
weeks.
come back down. In my notes here, I'll read them to you now from the podcast we did this morning. Days of Our Lives categorizes their week. Monday was drama week. Tuesday was comedy week, or comedy day. Wednesday was drunk folks day. Thursday was drama day part 2, where those stories came back from Monday. And then Friday was young folks and cops day. Days of Our Lives does a really good job of isolating things. And so the characters are really only there when they need to be there to push the story along. There's not a whole bunch of filler. There's some, but not a whole bunch of it. General Hospital, though, their format is different.
Yeah, and Days of Our Lives, they recap in flashbacks.
Yes, yeah.
And General Hospital recaps in conversation.
Yeah, they have the dining room coffee scenes in which they're talking about that sort of thing. So definitely different styles and approaches. Both of them are great. One of them leans far more dramatically heavy than the other. Well, that is for sure. But yeah, every once in a while, giving your characters a rest is a good idea. His kids are off to college in London, says Jeannie. Whose kids?
Cameron Matheson's. I saw that on social media too.
Okay.
One's in London, one's in Paris, I believe.
Chandra, you have.
You know what I thought of with that? Cameron Matheson. He's got a lucrative income. He can send his children to Paris And London for college.
Unless it's cheaper. I don't know. Maybe it's free out there for all I know. Chandra with the joke of the week. Beating Melissa out this week. Melissa, you got some work cut out for you next week. Drew went from Howdy Doody to Chucky.
No.
Yep.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep. Chandra, you win. Here's an Emmy.
Or you could even say this and they look the same. You can go from my buddy to Chucky.
My buddy. My buddy.
My buddy and me.
My buddy and me. I was not allowed to have one. No, I had one. I was not allowed to watch Chucky. That's what it was.
Your brother had a brown-haired Chucky, and you had a blonde-haired Chucky.
Oh.
Well, that was My Little Buddy. They weren't Chucky.
Well,
they were
they were
like
Chucky.
my buddies at the time.
They were Chucky. We never knew True Drew.
Man, if I
Says
could
Melissa.
find one of those, I could probably sell it on Poshmark for a buttload.
$1,500. Melissa says, we never knew True Drew. He was an amalgamation of Jason's memories and his own experiences since his amnesia. He still doesn't remember the True Drew. I contest you, Melissa. We did. Actually, you're You're amazing, Melissa. Because we've seen True Drew. As played by Roger Howarth after the digital memory swap.
That's true.
Who wasn't the nicest person on the planet? Drew. Who was pretty selfish? Drew. Who kidnapped Franco's body and was like, well, this is mine now, bitches? Drew. So maybe Melissa, maybe you're a little more right. Maybe he was more Chucky the entire time than Howdy Doody. And Howdy Doody is the exception.
Maybe, huh?
Ooh, wow. If Chucky looks like Drew, bodies everywhere. And me cheering in the corner for my guy. Okay, Melissa. Hey, Helena has Lucky, says Southern Belle.
Well, that's, Helena's done a lot of damage to Lucky in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Jake. I love that idea. But, I don't want to see Helena. If it's not Constant Towers, I am not interested. And Constant Towers is knocking on 100 years old. Yeah. She's well in her 90s.
Yeah. We need to see the other half of that tape.
But I know Constant Towers is quite alive.
Why have Willow struggling with her feelings for Drew if they're chucking the storyline? Because it still has to be logical. It still has to play into what's been going on. It can't, when you suddenly change something, you have a character flying out of a window and now the baby didn't survive. You can't do that with every story. Some things have to have some flow to it. Otherwise, you have what we've been talking about. The clean sweep of stories. No medicine, no pikemen, no Valentine, none of this. Brennan's back in the WSP. They've been doing that and doing that and doing that. I could
go my whole life without hearing the word pikeman again.
Right? So, but they're doing it. And so every once in a while, you got to connect things logically. Plus, you can also see what might come from the confrontation, the realization, the temporary faltering of your feelings for your husband that you've been with. And what does that mean for you and your husband going forward? It didn't blow into a huge, massive affair, but it was something very real and something that needs to be talked about.
Do you think that maybe Willow will get be feeling so guilty and so remorseful that she tells Michael the truth?
She might. I think she's going to run into Nina and Drew before then.
That's true. And then they can send Drew off into the sunset to go do something with that other chick, that Cameron Berg girl.
Candace Cameron Beer. DJ Tanner.
Yeah, DJ.
If Chucky really looked like... Oh, sorry. I read that one already. Speaking of Poshmark, did you know that Mama Cat is a Posh ambassador? Check out the store at this link, says Chandra.
Thank you, Chandra.
Drew has a Liz Biz situation going on. There shouldn't be a syrupy sweet quarter main. Not even Drew, says Charlie.
I kind of agree with you. They all are the offspring of Edward. But
there can only be one
Lila. You have to sprinkle some Lila in there.
There can only be one Lila, though.
I love the fact that Tracy, depending on what's needed, she is her mom or her dad now.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it's been. And that's a little cutesy scene. That's our filler this week with Violet and and Tracy and Violet calling her old and interrupting Sasha and Cody. Like that was our lighthearted filler, so we could take a break from wanting to pull our eyes out because we're so sad. Uh, so good for them.
That is my biggest complaint about General Hospital in the past 2 weeks is just it has been terribly sad.
It's super sad, and so I'm grateful for the more lighthearted moments that characters like Cody are able to bring. Cody and Sasha, I think, are just super fun together. I know that they're not the most engaging and most popular couple out there, but they are necessary to break some of the tension that's on the show.
And I tell you, Sasha's about as close as she can be to just give it to me, baby.
Chandra reminds us that Lightly did have a little bit of a bite to her too. She was just very ladylike in her threats.
That's true.
Let's see. You can off the cast 9 Bethany and the baby survived, but not the Metro Court. Them the breaks, Medora. Sucks.
Yeah. I didn't want the baby to die either.
No. Let's see. Southern Belle says TJ and Willow will eventually hook up. I think that ship sailed too. I think we might have gotten that a little while ago. But with what's happened with Molly, the baby, and how more closely bonded they are showing TJ and Molly now than they had been before, I don't think that's going to happen. Not anytime soon, at least.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Let's
But
see.
it is amazing that General Hospital has left them together all this time.
Yes.
Even though they've not been a front runner, they've never been like super
But they didn't
front
break up.
runner. No.
They've always been together.
No, but TJ and Molly have been together since they were 15 years old. That doesn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
Except for my house. My house, it does happen.
Drew and Nina can get married for political reasons and make it clear he and Willow have no hope and no future. Then Willow will have her pride hurt, think that feelings are over, and then James spills the beans. That's pretty complicated, but we're doing complicated stories right now, Charlie. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's it, though.
We spend stories here all the time on the 10th floor. That's how we become wrong so often.
That's it, though. We saw Lindsay Hartley this week. She filled in for Sam. I don't know what Kelly Monaco was up to, but it is not because the show didn't want to use Kelly Monaco. Let's be real and not dumb out there in the internet world, folks. No show is going to have somebody on contract and saying, I don't want you this week. Kelly Monaco had something going on when they needed her. They have another Sam, just like when Asante Jones kept on filling in to play Taggart. We have another actor. You're not available. We have a show to make.
Probably no. Kelly got COVID this week.
We don't know nothing. But
Probably
it wasn't
no. COVID's on the
because
rampant.
it wasn't because Frank Valentini
right.
doesn't like Kelly Monaco and can't wait to cast Lindsay Hartley. Because if he wanted Lindsay Hartley, they would have her. She'd be playing
Hey,
someone.
you know what? If they really, yeah, they could have already given her a character. I'm all for that though. I think Lindsay Hartley is a wonderful talent. And I really do think that she'd do quite well in General Hospital.
I agree entirely. I think that she and Dr. David Hayward should resurrect their characters in All My Children and come back as them.
I like it.
I would love it.
There's and you know what, General Hospital, if you keep on, and I know it's been about 3 weeks now, but if you keep on mentioning Erica Kane and I never get to see Susan Lucci, you just shut up.
I'm going to be mad.
Just shut up.
Somebody asked Frank Valentini if he talked to Susan at the Emmys, and he says, we're both in the same building. Well, maybe. So I was going to close out with this. If they wanted Lindsay Hartley, they would have Lindsay Hartley. Because we have a Geo on the show that they cast because they liked this kid's audition. They didn't like him for the role that they were casting, but they liked him. And they said, okay, you can be on our show. And then never figured out who he is. We know that he's a part of the Cerulo thing. We know he's a Bensonhurst person. We know that he can play the violin. We know that he's in college. But who the hell is he? What is he playing? What does he matter? What is he involved in? What is he going to be? Who is Geo? They don't know. Because they didn't cast a character, they cast an actor. What's that?
I want them to tell us though, because they did this, Matt, they did this when they brought on Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
They let him stagnate
forever until they figured out what it was. And it's clear that they haven't figured out what it is for Geo. And so while I would love to see Lindsay Hartley on, they need to figure out the character before saying, I want this actor. Because they said, ooh, I want this actor, and they put him on the show. But he doesn't fit anywhere currently. So.
And to me, he does not have chemistry with Tabiana. He doesn't.
No, I don't see it there. I don't even really see any chemistry between him and Jocelyn. It could be the writing, it could be the acting, it could be the experience, it could be any number of things. Maybe this kid even had a stellar audition and a stellar callback and a stellar sizzle Kim test. And then now he's in front of the lights and the cameras and the directors and the movement and the producers and the writing and the reading and the studying and the at the massive pace that they're in, and he might not be able to keep up. We've seen it before too. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just speculating here. We should probably hop off before I continue to speculate ourselves into the dirt.
Right.
They hinted at a secret from Cody's past in Dante's and dropped it. Oh, definitely.
Well, we've been ready to listen to what's been happening in 1992 for a long time.
They killed the man in 1992. It's a shame Gio's not given a chance by a lot of people, says Laura. You know, I feel as though time is gone. I've given him a chance, and the result is he's not contributing to the show currently. And that's,
but we want him to.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the harshest thing that I'm ever going to say about somebody. He's not contributing to the show currently. And that, you know, and that could be changed by how they write it going forward. They can introduce a slew of new characters that are perfect to interact with Gio, and now he's got something to do. Gio and Gina, Lindsay Hartley, long-lost siblings. That might be interesting. Anyway, folks, we can continue to speculate all morning long, but we're not, because it's the afternoon now. The morning's over. Goodbye. Ta-ta! Tally-ho, mates! So, folks, like the video if you enjoyed yourself. Like it if you didn't enjoy yourself. Leave a comment when you come back. And if you don't have anything to say in comments, you know what you can do? Come back and leave a little emoji and let me know how you felt. In emoji form, in the comments. And that works just as well as leaving a comment, folks.
It does, because...
So help us out with that engagement if you can. Reload this page once I'm done broadcasting and leave us a little emoji comment. I would be immensely grateful if you were to do that. Thank you to everyone from the bottom of my heart for the massive amount of donations that came through. We definitely crossed the threshold and then some. So
thank you.
Thank you so much. You can give us a follow on Twitter if you want at 10th Floor GH. Let me get into the speech, Mom. That's it, folks. Get on to the elevator. We're going back down to the first floor. Get out of that elevator. Go through the parking garage of General Hospital, and it's safe right now. Okay, there's no mastermind out there trying to blow up the city. It's all personal, family, trauma, currently. Give it another week. But when you get into cars, you can turn your radios to previous episodes of the 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. And if you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to us on Twitter at 10th Floor GH, and I'll send you in the right direction. We take the donations here on YouTube through the Super Chat, the Super Thanks function. Give it a little click and send your money to us. Otherwise, you can also go to buymeacoffee.com, which Chandra has just left a link for, and leave us a little tip-a-doodle there if you want. That would be great. Hi, Annette. We're leaving.
Sorry. Rewind.
Leave us a comment. Favorite podcast, you can find that at 10th Floor GH. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. I do Twitter more than anything else. But it's all there for you to follow us and interact with the show if you want. Leave comments and messages, all that sort of stuff. You can also email the show at 10thfloorgh@gmail.com if you would like. You know, maybe there's a topic you want us to talk about. Maybe there's some really fancy old picture of some celebrity that you want us to see. Send it along, 10th Floor GH. Like the video if you haven't, subscribe to the channel because you want to.
Then you'll get notifications when we're about to go on.
Well, yeah, so if you subscribe and then hit the bell icon, then anytime we click this live button, whether it's 9 a.m. for Days for Dummies, 11 a.m. for 10th Floor Podcast, or any time else during the week that we decide to pop through, you're going to get a little push notification on your phone, so long as you have YouTube on your phone, that says, hey, 10th Floor is on, join us. So that'd be nice, do that. That's it, though. We'll see you next week, 9 a.m. for Days for Dummies, and again, 11 a.m. for 10th Floor Podcast. We're going to talk about epic weeks of soaps because they are both pushing very different and entertaining content right now. So join us.
It sure is.
Join us.
We got a captive. We got someone captive on both shows.
We sure do. Who's going to get out first, Melinda or Lucky? Find out here on 10th Floor Podcast Channel. Give us a subscribe. That is it, folks. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll catch you next time right here on the 10th floor. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.